Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Ajuna Sharawat, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to make these sessions, a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Rakesh Srivastava, an innovative, profit-oriented senior leader with demonstrated success of over 28 years in project procurement, project management, contracts management, commercial operations, business strategy and development, and legal functions across the transportation infrastructure, realty, and water industry. Currently spearheading as the business head of EPC projects for Tata Steel USIL Jamshedpur, Rakesh is a multi-skilled professional and is skilled in business functions operations, process transformation and enhancement, service delivery, client servicing, and dispute negotiation and resolution. He is recognized for spearheading operations for vertical delivery units required to effectively differentiate the company and optimize growth with account retention. In addition, skilled at leading the transformation of business operations by implementing various strategies ranging from SLAs adherence, process flows, team forecasting, workforce analysis, and training professionals with capabilities in transferring and redesigning the process of efficiency enhancement that result in substantial cost reductions, improved productivity, and quality. Extensive experience in understanding of the complete project management life cycle, including green and brownfield projects, encompassing project scoping, requirement analysis, technical specifications, risk management, and execution. Gifted with superior interpersonal, organizational, and analytical skills with an ability to work in unison with customers, team, and stakeholders, Rakesh has been in the field of training and mentoring students and faculties in various reputed colleges and universities. Welcome, Rakesh, to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you, Ms. Rawat.
It's such a pleasure to have you and so excited to having this conversation with you.
I'm also very excited to share my experience, and I feel that hopefully my experience will carry some value to someone in any way they can use it.
Most definitely. And to begin with, we would like you to summarize your work profile for our viewers today and tell them about the development of your most significant roles.
Thank you. We were, in fact, the first batch of civil engineers from 90s when we started actually taking more initiatives and trying to do developmental projects rather than more on a construction site project. So I was very lucky to work along with the Planning Commission at that time in 90s and 2000 to develop the BOT model. And then I was very lucky to get the first BOT project of India in the modern day concession agreement. I'm talking about 20 years back. And that is the journey India started with the PPP model. It was a very interesting start, and we were able to do a lot of projects. In fact, I have the credit of doing almost 16 PPP projects in India, and also I was very lucky to do the first national expressway, which runs from Ahmedabad to Baroda. A lot of challenges were there as far as construction was involved, as far as environmental aspects were involved, because at that time, a lot of issues were there when the projects were running through forest area, through dry lands, through a lot of vegetation area. So we were faced with a lot of issues and uh, with respect to cutting of trees, with respect to transplantation of trees, with respect to afforestation, deforestation, with respect to project viability, with respect to environmental impact, everything we were facing right from the first day of the project. But thanks to the leadership at that time, we were quite young and we were quite motivated to do a good job, because we were doing a job for our country, and our first motive was to develop something, keeping the environmental aspects to the best way we can keep. And the best part is, I still remember one of the projects I did in 90s, from Mahabalipuram to Kadlur in Tamil Nadu, passing through all along the beach, all along the sea coast, lot of avoiding lot of trees, avoiding lot of habitations, and in turn, the best part was that we did almost more than 1 million of tree plantation at that time. I'm talking about 90s. And that, when I visited after almost 25 years, I was very applaud to see those trees giving livelihood to the villagers and the people around. So, as an engineer, we need to think uh, for development, keeping environmental aspects in top priority. So that is my take uh, on the construction projects. Right now, for the last 2.5 years, I have been involved in a lot of Pradhan Mantri sponsored Jal Jeevan mission, and I did almost 7 projects providing drinking water, providing irrigation water to almost many places in India, right from Rajasthan to UP to Bihar to Tamil Nadu. And in fact, I was very much touched with the quality of water people were drinking. I can narrate one of the instance. We provided a water to a village in Bihar which was affected by arsenic, and before 2015, most of the child who were born were developing some sort of a illness because of arsenic content in the water. We got this project in, I think, 2013-14, but due to various delays in certain regulations, the project got a bit delayed, but ultimately we completed. And right now, if I can, if I get so excited to see the laugh, the crowd, the people are there who are drinking absolutely clear water, and from 15 onwards, there are no cases of arsenic related problem. And the young boys and girls who are born right now, they are as healthy as we get in any part of India. So that gives a lot of satisfaction. So I have been involved in those type of projects where we have actually seen the importance of uh, good work combined with good a good environmental aspects. If we are taking care, like refilling of the same water we recirculated for irrigation after cleaning, so we didn't waste any water. We cleaned the water to such an extent that most of the uh, infectants were removed, and it has increased the livelihood and in turn increased the average lifespan of the people. That gives a lot of satisfaction. So there are many such projects. I have been involved in many such projects. Almost first, to my personal credit, I have done more than 26,000 crores of project in India and abroad. And I was very proud to be part of a team who worked in Yemen before the war. And being an Indian, the first thing we have in our gene is to protect the environment and to carry forward the development and to construct with the best possible way without disturbing the local ethos. So that we took care, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction. So, and I have been in this industries from last 28 years, doing multiple projects from building to oil and gas pipeline to LNG tanks. One of the biggest projects we did in Delhi is the Pragati Maidan exhibition hall and convention center, where we tried to use most of the best environmental friendly materials and technology, which is energy efficient. Otherwise, if we would have gone by the conventional method, the consumption of electricity would have been enormous. So we used the technologies which are energy efficient, which consumes less energy, so thereby saving lot of power and lot of environmental related issues we have tried to control in this one of the biggest project in Delhi. So just as in brief, I can say right now that.
Been out of amazing projects. If you could let us know which of the job roles you have enjoyed the most.
The most I enjoyed was when we were constructing a bridge in Udhampur for the rail link project, Jammu Udhampur rail link project, where the piers were the pillars were higher than the Qutub Minar itself. So those were the projects where we were doing the rail line, the bridges, in an area which was surrounded by only mountains and trees and little bit of habitants. So if you touch that ecology in a different way, probably a lot of destruction will happen. So you require a scientific method of working in those type of areas. You require a different innovative technology to construct and to develop, not with a conventional bend of mind. See, the one thing I have learned is technology is one part, but the people working at these projects and developing these projects should have an adequate bend of mind. Then only they can do a sustainable job. Otherwise, it's very easy to do a project. You just need to cut trees and make a land and do some projects, but that is not sustainable. On a long term, it is always deficient in some nature. So, it's a God's wish that I have that mindset of working with a view that I should be able to contain whatever has been given by the Almighty, and then develop something which can be utilized by the human being. So that was one of the best projects. The pier height were more than 75 meters, and the length of the bridges were more than 100 and 125 meters. And in the gorges, in the trees, we just made the project, although little bit delayed, but that is condonable because it was a very tough area, without cutting not more than 5 trees. We had made the entire project, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction when I traveled on that particular stretch myself very recently when we went to Katra. So when you travel on your project, which is made with keeping in view lot of sustenance in view, and the other best point was we Indians have a very bad habit to do a project at the least cost, but with the best quality. So in that project, we tried to utilize all the materials which were locally available, and that gave us a lot of opportunity to generate employment to the local people. We sourced most of the material from the local vendors and local people. That gave us a lot of advantage in reducing the price. We use local materials to make the project so that the environment remains the same as it was before. So those aspects were taken care in that project. And one of the best things is when we see the normal concrete, we think that it is something different. We actually did a very different concrete there, and we made very light concrete, which reduced the whole load on the structures and which reduced the load on the surface where it is coming into, thereby reducing the entire stress in the nearby habitants, nearby ecology. And this has got such a beautiful effect that the entire cost in real term, if I do a life cycle costing, has reduced by 22%. So that is one of the projects which we did in very atrocious condition because of the cold weather and the inaccessibility to the site, but with lot of zeal, with lot of involvement with the local people, lot of taking care of local environmental issues and taking care of the local employability requirement. So all that was taken care and it was done successfully. And it gives me immense power, immense satisfaction when we travel on the same route by a train and we see that what we have done is fantastic. Maybe we did around 15, 20 years back. So that is one of the best projects. Another project which I can narrate is we just gave we did a project in Tanzania. It is out of country in South Africa, East Africa, not South Africa. And there we did a project where we cleaned the water from the river. The rivers, most of the rivers are such small width that they are just like a drain of India. And we cleaned that water and we gave pure drinking water. I think I can vouch that it is better than Bisleri, what we find in India. We gave a clear drinking water to the habitants in Tanzania, and they are so happy that I was so moved when one of the old lady came and told me that I'm also Indian. I moved here in 1949, but first time I'm here seeing that some Indian has come to save us and give us a good life. So those type of satisfactions are more important than what we earn out of all this in terms of monetary value. So these are some of the projects I can just narrate, and there are empty in Jamshedpur. If you come, you open a tap in and around any of the area all around Jamshedpur. I vow that you will get a much better drinking water than any of the packaged drinking water. So that is the quality of water here we get, and it is such a nice thing that you can open any tap and drink anywhere. You don't need a packaged drinking water
Wow.
without affecting the environment.
The source of water being?
The source of water is 115 years old, a small barrage which is made 115 years old, and that water still remains. And every rain, water accumulates there. Through some river, it comes there, and that is getting cleaned and served since last 120 years. And absolutely, the water is as pure as you want for a drinking purpose. So
That's very
there are
reassuring.
many places where we did some good job, and I'm proud of that.
We are also proud of you.
Thank you.
And have at any point in your career you felt that you were stepping out of your area of interest, or that you had to extend your purview just too much?
Yeah, absolutely. As part of leader, you never know what your owner wants you to do tomorrow. So, and you can't say no. So the best part is in India. See, I have been in construction industry for a long tenure, and I tried my luck in IT industry. I did not like that, and I did not want to be a full-fledged lawyer also. So this is the industry I like because I develop something. I get a lot of inner satisfaction by developing. But quite often, owners, when they see that yes, this guy has something more than what he can doing normally, then they tend to load you with some more things. And that is how I was loaded with the job of litigations, dispute resolutions, arbitrations, matters related to court, in 2009, and apart from my business activity. But touch wood, I was so successful. I'm still very successful in that area, and that still my employers, wherever I have worked, they consider me those areas as my more strength areas than the business part. They say that business is a left-hand job for you, right-hand job is dispute resolution, negotiation, but because that gives you more money in terms of without any expenditure. And I was proud of a team when we won an award of more than 1,800 crores in one single arbitration when we participated in an arbitration proceeding between India and one of the other countries, where the government had closed one of the projects suddenly because of certain political reasons. So I have been into arbitrations, and I have done my master's in law, and I'm an alumnus of National Law Institute. I'm an alumnus of National NALSAR, which is in Hyderabad. So being part of that, uh, I have participated in many such dispute resolution procedures in India and abroad, in Indian arbitration system and abroad arbitration system. That actually became part of one of the activities which my employer wanted me to do. But I have a habit to take, I have a habit not to say no. So I have been always taking in such activities uh, on and off. In my present company, uh, there are a lot of issues which has been left by the project team when they were doing the job. So the projects were not closed. In a project scenario, in a construction scenario, the biggest thing is closing of the projects. So the projects are not closed. There were 26 projects which were not closed. So the employer thought that I'm the best person, whatever maybe the reason he thought he gave. And within 2 years, we were able to close almost 22 projects. So that gave me a lot of satisfaction also, but that is part of my other activities, not my regular activities. So that is what I can say right now.
Wonderful. Absolutely very inspiring. And as you had mentioned earlier also about taking care of the resources and being aware of the situation, minimizing resources. So like, could you expand it more and tell us more? When did you develop an interest in sustainability?
See, when I was doing a project in 2005, and that project was uh, a big size project, roughly around 2,400 crores in Indian rupees. And we were supposed to do that project in 27 months. So it was a big challenge for us. Uh, but the whole project was planned in such a manner. I can only brief you because it takes long time to explain everything. We planned the whole things, especially the material design part, so that the entire material we were able to procure within the reach of the whole project. The project expanded from kilometer, say 0 to kilometer 200. So it was a 200-kilometer project. The spread was 200 kilometers. So the entire sourcing of the material were sourced within the vicinity of the project, except for major items which were manufactured somewhere else. This brought down the whole cost and also developed local industry in and around the whole project. And that gave a lot of employment opportunities to the local people, and they helped us complete the project in less than 24 months. So we were able to reduce the resources by optimum design. We were able to bring down the cost by reducing the transportations and and increasing the availability of the material locally found. So we were able to reduce the cost, we were able to increase the quality, and we were able to reduce the time. So this is one of the, there are many other secrets behind all this, but the main part thing is if you do a development project, there are three, four aspects which we need to take care. One is resource availability, one is effective designing, one is involvement of local community, third is relationship with all the regulatory authority involved with the project within the vicinity of the project. So if you try to work on all those aspects, certainly we are going to do a very good project. As a project director for that project, I did very minimal thing. I only guided, and most of the time I was spending training students, training the faculties in and around this 200 kilometers. There were many schools, there are many colleges, and that is how I developed those interest for training and development. I'm talking about 2005. There were many schools where the students were not able to get a job. So what we did, we had a time of 24 months. We tried to teach the student, take them on internship basis and make them skilled at the project site. And I'm very proud to say out of the 60 students which I have personally taught them, 3 are IS officer right now and 20 are doing a very good corporate. So those people whom I taught, those people whom I interacted, those colleges whom I interacted, they actually came much ahead to help the whole project. And that is how when you involve somebody, third person, they naturally come to you to help you out. And that is how you can develop a project much better way, much easy way. If we have an atrocity, if we have a differential treatment, then it's very difficult to make a good project, sustainable project in a short time. So that is my suggestion, and that is how I have done. And going forward, I'm going to improve on that further. And we are trying to develop certain means, more on training and development of local guys and inducting them in the sites, in the projects, in the development stage, so that they get trained, they get more skilled, and then they develop in a good human being rather than going out of the country and spending their energy. So that is my thought process, and that is how I am carrying on.
Beautiful.
So
great initiatives taken by you.
Yeah, these were some things which we learned from our, I think, very young days. See, I'm born and brought up in a industrial town. Probably that is the first fertilizer factory of India, which known as Sindri, which is in Dhanbad, Jharkhand. The fertilizer factory came up in 1947, just after independence. And my grandfather was one among the then prime ministers for the inauguration of that particular factory. So we lived there. And in a industrial township, we have nothing more to do rather than study, do community development, do social work, and then excel in playing. These are the activities, that's all. And those samskars, if you develop and somehow you carry it forward, probably you can do a better job. That is what I have been doing. I'm not very rich person, but yes, I'm more rich in this aspect.
The real richness which is needed.
Yeah. I actually believe that all the corporate people, especially the leadership people, should spend much time in training, development skills, enhancement of the young guys, especially young guys of today who are engrossed in all type of things which they should not be. So if we try to develop them, probably we'll have a better country. So these were some of my thoughts.
Very true. And now coming to the technology aspect of it, how much has technology changed your field? And what changes do you foresee with the implementation of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, etc.?
Frankly speaking, when I recall the way we started doing, the way we did our projects, the way we constructed a thing in 90s, we don't do right now. And thanks to the different technology which has come up and digitization which has come up, we have been using this to some extent in the early 2000, but now most of the things, especially monitoring, especially reducing the power, especially planning, especially designing, the technology is playing a big role, and that helps us reduce the rework, that helps us reduce the wastage, that helps us reduce the timeline. So technology has given us an edge to think in a different way, better way, and do the work in a more structured manner. That is what I can say. See, for instance, right now, sitting in my home on my laptop, I can control few of my equipments and tell them I don't require to do this much of work in this place, or I require more work in some other place because I have got lesser time there and I have got more time here. So I'm able to control with the help of technology, with the help of IoT, with the help of AI, to do what I want to do and achieve what I want. So that has given us an edge. Earlier, we were not able to do this, and it was a lot of time lag was there before we think and before we implement. Okay. Now, I'll give you one instance. In waterworks, we use a lot of IoT technology and SCADA technology. And even if it is a 700 square kilometer of network, we can control the entire water flow standing or sitting in one place with a small laptop or small desktop. So this was not possible earlier. We can know which valve to open, how much time to open, how much water flow will be going, how much water flow should go to this area. Suppose in a crisis, emergency, what happens?
Hmm.
By the time you find someone to open a valve, the things might get deteriorated.
Hmm.
So with the technology, you can just sit here and tell the operator, open that, and that emergency is over, finish. It is a matter of second. So this technology actually has brought down increase the efficiency from x to the power n to x to the power 0 else. So that is the benefit we have. And another benefit which I see is the lot of wastage is reduced. Lot of wastage is reduced. Suppose there is something known as bar bending schedule. With bar bending, when we do a concrete work, we use a lot of reinforcement bars, steel. Earlier it was manual. Now also it is manual. Those who cannot afford, they are using manual. Okay, but there are technologies which has reduced the wastage of such steel. Suppose even if you save say 1,000 tons of steel, it's a huge amount. So you are saving a lot of amount with the use of technology. So what we do is we just design the entire thing, calibrate the whole system, just put in the reinforcement, and we get the bars as we want to install right in place. So there's no rework, there's no recut, nothing. It reduces the time, it reduces the cost, it increases the efficiency, and increases the margin. So it's a benefit to the shareholder also. So technology is a great thing. I only have one line of caution is that overuse of technology sometimes is dangerous. So sometimes people tend to use more technology than required on the pretext that they want to show something, or they want to experiment something, and at that time things get really bad, because if technology creates disturbance, it creates havoc. So that is the precaution we should keep in mind. Otherwise, it's fantastic.
Yes, so true again. And since you are now ESG certified corporate governance expert, what values do you aim to inculcate in your existing into your new role?
See, in my new role, CSR is part of my responsibility as I am going to become one of the members of the CSR committee. And as I told earlier, I have the passion of working with the social people and with the environment. I am very excited to work on that. Being in Jharkhand, this is a mineral-rich state, but at the same time, the people are not very rich in the sense all people are not very educated. So community development, education, involvement of the community in the projects, taking care of the community with good drinking water, good sanitation, involvement of the community with respect to developmental needs. So all these things is part of my project activity, and we have earmarked certain portion of our profits from the projects, apart from what is done at the corporate level, to develop much better relationship with the community we work with. So that is one of the initiative I look forward. The second initiative, what on a regular basis, is tree plantation and afforestation. So as you know, Jharkhand is one of the greenest place, and but due to mining activities, lot of trees has been cut. So we are trying to ensure that we develop trees which are fruits bearing, so that it gives certain advantage to the locals, certain advantage to the people around. And we are planting lot of trees to sustain the Mother Earth and sustain the society also. So these are the two activities we are doing right now. Going forward, there are many other things which are planned, and we look forward to do a sustainable business so that the coming generation, at least they remember us for doing a good job.
Sure enough. And coming to the last part of our conversation, where we would like to have a feedback from you. As you're aware, we are building the Global Thought Leaders community for cross-pollination of knowledge and a community of independent directors for having a better corporate governance in the country. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by the whole WDC team?
I was watching WDC for the last maybe 1.5 years, frankly speaking. And I was not doing what they were actually doing, and I heard, I was going through whatever advertisements you are all giving. I was following that, but I never understood what is the meaning of all this. Neither we had time for doing that. But one evening I thought of enrolling myself, and that was the day when I really understood what is the importance of that. See, one of the best things you are all doing is imbibing the old thoughts of protecting the environment along with a sustainable development and increase in shareholders' profit earning. If I club together both the independent director responsibilities and as an ESG expert, then the entire role comes within these thoughts only. If an ID is not able to increase the shareholders' share value, then there's no purpose for him to be there. So by training him to be an ID, successful ID, and a fruitful ID, you're increasing the shareholders' money, and in turn, the living index of the people around him gets increased. And inculcating the knowledge and the bringing in the table various studies, various thoughts by various people. You are giving us a thought, or you are spreading the thought among number of people how to think differently and how to protect the environment. So I think you are all doing a very fantastic job. And in fact, after doing this courses from you and successfully passing through the independent director course, I have been also marketing your company, and we have also become a marketing agent, though we don't charge you. But we are also becoming a we have also become a marketing person for WTC, and we are proud of doing that. And keep doing this good thing. And I also wish that whatever projects comes up in India, whatever development comes up in India, they should come up with some thoughts of keeping the climate and environment into correct perspective and then develop that.
Thank you for such lovely words and motivating feedback.
Thank you.
And the conversation with you was very inspiring and valuable and enriching. I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you for joining us today and wish you the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you. And I wish everybody a very best of luck for whatever they do. And I wish that they do everything effectively, keeping the environment and climate in correct perspective and safe for our coming generation. Thank you so much and take care.